All right, y'all. Let's go.
Bang! What?
It's now less than 3 weeks until the highly anticipated and controversial fight, and Jake Paul has just revealed his secret weapon, one that could make all the difference in the ring. But this time, it's not a flashy new gadget or a wild new trainer. It's a world champion. The hype surrounding the matchup between Gervonta, Tank Davis and Jake Paul keeps growing by the day, and it shows no signs of slowing down. From knockout bonuses to unexpected alliances forming behind the scenes, the build-up already feels like something straight out of a Netflix series. Now, Jake Paul has added another twist by bringing a world champion into his camp to spar with him as he prepares for the November 14th showdown in.
Can you blame a man for taking that opportunity? Because this is prize fighting, right? It's about making money and securing your family. Can you fault him for that?
It's two sides of that. Like,
okay.
It just depends. Like, as a fighter, just because I had a draw with somebody, for me, I may run it back. But
this information came directly from Jake himself during an interview with TMZ Sports. You could tell he's beginning to feel the weight of what lies ahead. He called it his most dangerous fight yet, admitting that for the first time in a long while.
And just his speed, his elusiveness, his ring IQ, his conditioning. You know, he's gone 12 rounds so many different times. Something that I've never even done, so he's going to be sharp all the way through. I mean, the list goes on, and so just actually being vulnerable for a second, it's like, this is crazy, this is scary.
However, he quickly balanced that vulnerability by revealing that he's been stacking his training camp with elite talent. Alongside regulars like Raymond Ford and Montana Love, he announced that Shakur Stevenson, one of the most defensively skilled boxers in the world, would be joining his camp to help him sharpen up before facing Tank Davis.
Man, I'm thinking about, Bigfoot versus Littlefoot. Andre the Giant versus Wee Man. Man, this is gonna be better than damn Circus on Lake. Yeah, they gonna look weird as hell in the ring together, man. You see how big Jake Paul is? 200 plus pounds? Man, I don't understand it. I don't get it.
That revelation caught everyone off guard. Because if you followed boxing even casually over the past few years, you know that Stevenson and Gervonta Davis have never exactly been on friendly terms.
When it comes to Davis, you know, he says in that press conference, what do you say? Just be a fan and watch the fight and enjoy the fight. Enjoy what, bro? You against Uber drivers? I don't want to watch that. You know what I mean? And then you get a guy who gives you a good fight, and you can give him a rematch. You know what I mean? And then you want to be compared to Floyd. Floyd gave instantaneous rematches. You know what I mean?
The two have traded words on social media, teased a fight that never materialized, and have constantly been compared for their skills at lightweight. So seeing Stevenson cross that invisible line and step into Jake Paul's camp is huge. Shakur himself seemed excited about the collaboration, posting on X, formerly Twitter, Fire. I get a chance to pick a great business mind and help give some game in the process. I'm down. It was a short post, but it spoke volumes. Stevenson sees an opportunity not just to spar, but to study, to learn, and maybe even send a subtle message to Davis in the.
Is there any way any realistic or legitimate way in your mind you could see Jake Paul winning a fight against Tank?
No.
No way.
Nope.
What makes this collaboration even more interesting is how strategically smart it is. Stevenson's style is built on timing, control, and angles, exactly the tools Jake will need to survive Davis's relentless pressure. Tank isn't just fast and explosive, he's calculated. He breaks opponents down round by round and forces them into mistakes. Stevenson has studied that up.
Yeah, in terms of sparring, you know, we got some great guys coming in. Some really experienced southpaws that are smaller. I think Montana Love is coming in. Shakur Stevenson wants to come in. Jermaine Ortiz. We're gonna hit up Erickson Lubin, some of these guys. So we're just gonna bring in a plethora of fighters that.
Meanwhile, back in Miami, the stage is set. The fight will take place at the Casilla Center, and Jake has made it clear that he's not just showing up to survive. He's slimming down, fine-tuning his conditioning to match Davis's pace, and focusing on countering explosiveness with timing. My goal is to walk Tank into a knockout, just like I've done with other opponents. Jake said that it's a bold claim, but that's been his approach since day one. Control the chaos and make the moment his own. At this point, the build-up feels almost cinematic, knockout psychological warfare, and now, a known rival of Davis stepping into Jake's corner. It's the kind of storyline that blurs the line between sport and entertainment.
A 92-pound weight difference, almost a 100-pound weight difference. It's insane. Let's say he comes in at 200 pounds. It's still a 65-pound weight advantage. That is called one thing. That's called being a bully. It's like, dude, what are you doing? What don't you understand about this? If you want respect from your peers, if you want everyone on the planet.
What's funny, though, is that despite all this collaboration, Shakur Stevenson isn't actually picking Jake Paul to win. In his TMZ interview, Stevenson made it clear that while he respects Jake's preparation, he still believes Gervonta Davis will.
Gio's world, facts. That's why Tank wants to fight Jake Paul. I'm telling you, he want to fight Jake Paul because he know if he climb in the ring with Shakur Stevenson, he's going to get zapated. He know it.
That's classic Shakur, logical, calm, and analytical. He doesn't get caught up in hype. He knows Tank's ring IQ is underrated. Most people focus on his knockout power, but Stevenson sees the thinker behind the punches, the way Davis reads opponents, breaks them down, and sets traps. To him, Jake's size is an advantage, but not necessarily the deciding factor.
I think Gervonta Davis is probably the greatest fighter around now, but he's got a tough fight coming up. You know, he's the top dog, there's no doubt about it. He showed that.
However, not everyone sees it that way. Terence Crawford, arguably one of the most complete fighters of this generation, has a completely different take. Speaking on the Full Send podcast, Crawford said he's leaning toward Jake Paul pulling off the upset, and his reasoning is pure physics. Jake's just too big for Tank, Crawford said.
The camp of the latter. But instead of giving us the rematch with Roach, he's going to fight Jake Paul. Now this is where you have a chance to stand up as fans. Don't pay for it. Don't watch it. But we know that you're going to.
In reality, he's way too big for him. Tank is super talented, can punch hard, and is explosive, but Jake can punch with that right hand. I've seen it up close. The dude's big, he's not as slow as people think, and he can punch. Honestly, I think Jake might surprise everyone. There's no official winner, it's an exhibition, but Jake's too big. If they really go at it, he's too big, Tank won't be able to get past that jab. If Jake lands one clean shot on him, it could be over.
Because he was talking about fighting Joshua, which is heavyweight, and now he's saying about fighting Tank. Nah, this can't be. It's Netflix as well. I need to go and do some checks and see if like the main pages have posted this, but Jake Paul's posted it. It says Friday, November 14th. It's in Atlanta, State Farm Arena.
Crawford's perspective carries weight because he's one of the few elite fighters who's actually been around Jake's training firsthand. He's seen the power and watched Jake improve with each fight, and his point about the jab is crucial. Jake's entire style revolves around that long reach and setting up the right hand. Against someone with Tank's shorter frame, that could be a real problem.
Jake is big, Tank has a lot of skill, but I don't think he's the same Tank that we saw the most incredible knockouts. We saw him, I mean, Lamont Roach performed great. They went to draw, and, you know, I just don't know. And Tank walked away. I don't know if he loves it enough to beat a guy who outweighs him by 80 to 100 pounds.